begin. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show. And happy Tuesday. So, it's, I got home super late today. And a lot of times when I get home super late, I have time to actually put some stuff together and whatnot. But I didn't today. So, we'll talk a little bit about Whoopi's issue. And then I have some random stuff that I found. And if you want to send me some stuff or if you want to drive the conversation, I'm happy with that too. There's plenty to talk about. I just haven't gotten to it. I didn't do the Twitter file yesterday. I got a pretty good summary of it from PJ Media. I've got a few weird tweets and just some random stuff. So if I run out of stuff, we'll just talk. You can tell me what you want to talk about in the chat. That's what the show's going to be like today, though. Because of the wonderful things I does. What is that? No, that's not it. What the hell is that? Anyway, are you ready? Shall we do this thing? Yeah, let's shall. Johnny, please play the intro. Now. Oh, you want to hear the end of the song. That's a beautiful song. All right, let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way, but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yep, that would be me. Good morning, everybody. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet, and that is really soft. What is going on here? Anyway, welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel. It's Tuesday, the 27th of December, 2022. Is it the third day of Christmas? On the third day of Christmas, my true love gave to me 3 French hens, 2 turtle doves, and a partridge in a pear tree. I hope you're not flying anywhere today. I just said someone said something about Southwest Air. And yeah, Southwest has canceled like 70% of their flights around the country today. A lot of places have. You know, here in the Twin Cities, when this kind of stuff happens, we just keep going. But apparently nobody else around the country can. Actually, it's been a little bit of a tragic thing with this weather thing. Man, lots of people died and all kinds of mess and people without electricity all over the place. 5 million some people without electricity around the country in different parts. 300,000 in North Carolina and different places. Man, we're used to this stuff. That doesn't happen to us, thankfully. Knock on wood, you know. But anyway, I hope you are being safe wherever you are, whether you are still in this deep freeze or you're getting a lot of snow or whatever it is you're dealing with. I hope you're doing well. I know some of you that are in other parts of the world are not dealing with this terrible cold thing we're happening right now. And I say good for you. Just avoid it at all costs, you know, because, you know, here we're getting more proof of global warming and it's not good. So anyway, let's say good morning, everybody, and then just kind of ramble on what's happening. First in the chat today over on Rumble was Advocatus Diablo, who gets the bell. Thank you, sir, for being here. And also over there, Simon Wolfwood, Septus Wolf, Mike Savage, Blarg, and that's the Rumble crew. Remember to make sure you follow me both on Rumble and on YouTube and on Odyssey, other platforms, just in case something happens here on the YouTubes. And then over, oh shoot, I got it. I'm still in top chat over there. Well, first in the chat over on YouTube, that would also be Advocatus Diablo. So you get the bell on both sides of the board. Simon Wolfwood, Fox P2, Civic Magic, Somnable Nation, Septus Wolf, HP Lovecraft, Chicago Mike, Rotten Course, Tribute Liberty, Jaeger Pony, my favorite Canadian. Maddie's in the house. Oh, you know what I haven't been doing for Maddie? There you go. There you go. That's for Maddie and Ronan. Attack Alpacas here. Good morning, Jethro Hetero. Who else? DI Freighter Watch, what's happening? Good morning, Somnambule Nation. And wow, a lot of people here. Now let me see. Put this back into live chat because I probably missed some people because of that. If I missed you, it's because I didn't redo this thing. Fuck this gay earth. What do you mean, Foxby2? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. A beautiful day, my neighbor. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Rest in peace, Mr. Rogers. Okay, it's like War Games computer freaking out at the end of the movie. The only move is not to fly. Yeah, pretty much. The pretty much is not to play the game. Stay inside, stay warm. Try to, if you don't have electricity, I'm sorry. I hope you have a generator or something. But anyway, let's talk about what's going on in the world. So, like I said, I didn't get home in time to really go through a lot of news today. And yeah, I've been taking care of Lady Boomer, who's, by the way, Lady Boomer is doing well. She's still on her, what's called a full liquid diet, which means not clear liquid. She can, this morning, for example, I made her some cream of wheat with cinnamon and brown sugar in it. And then you make it extra mushy with some milk in there, and she can eat that. She can eat, Tyre is Alexander. You know why, Tyre? Good morning, sir. I did not see you because I forgot to switch to live chat, so some of the chats didn't pop up. There you are. I missed you. I apologize, sir. Good morning to my friend Tyre Alexander. Okay. And so now I made some potato soup. Oh, it was really good. I'd never made potato soup before, but I'm like, I'm going to make some potato soup. Let's just make that. And that was really, really good. But for her, I have to throw it in the blender and puree it and maybe thin it out with a little milk or whatever. But she can, so she can, it's kind of like creative pureeing. Today I'm going to make some squash soup, for example, and see how that goes. So anyway, and I just leave it regular consistency for me, and then I can just, eat them, and then I thin them out for her. So can Lady Boomer have raw eggs? That's an interesting question. I'm assuming they are technically a full liquid. I don't think she's into raw eggs though, so I'm not sure. And I'm certainly not gonna. I'm kind of freaky about raw eggs because you just never know. But anyway, she is. But yeah, she's doing much better. She's up and about. I laughed because I was describing to one of my friends who asked about her this morning. I said, yeah, she's spending a lot of time in bed, but also she's doing a lot of what we call lap projects. So she's either on a computer or she's been like, for example, when we had people for Christmas Eve, she still made all the charcuterie boards and she made some of the appetizers, and she's up and about. She just can't eat for a while. So anyway, yes, Rocky started raw eggs. Well, not started raw eggs. I'd heard of like bodybuilders eating raw eggs for a long time. Best liquid diet beer. Yes, she can have. Well, she can have. No, can she have alcohol? I don't think she can have alcohol. The dietitian said no. So that's interesting. That's a good idea though. Anyway, I can have beer. So I just in solidarity with Lady Boomer, I will probably have a couple of beers this week. So anyway, so let's see. I want to go ahead right into it here, because Whoopi Goldberg. Remember back in February, Whoopi Goldberg got suspended from The View for a short time because of some controversial comments about the Holocaust. Now, it's funny because it wasn't necessarily Kanye-esque, but it was still you raised an eyebrow because one of the really bad things, especially during Hanukkah, which Hanukkah is not really one of the major Jewish holidays. It's a holiday, but it's not, a lot of people just see it's a holiday near Christmas. So a lot of us in the Christian world think, oh, well, that must be their big holiday too. No, 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 no. I think the bigger holiday is Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. But Hanukkah is it's a minor Jewish holiday that, we kids in Christian land talk about during Christmas time. So anyway, Whoopi Goldberg on The View, she renewed some of her controversial comments about the Holocaust during Hanukkah. Now, will she get canceled like Kanye West? I don't think so. But as Hanukkah celebrations continue across the globe, Whoopi Goldberg reiterated her beliefs about Jewish people in the Holocaust, once again claiming that it did not have to do with race. Quote, remember who they were killing first. They were not killing racial. They were killing physical. They were killing people they considered to be mentally defective, the View host told the Sunday Times in a recent interview. Interviewer Janice Turner pressed her on the statement, explaining that Nazis saw Jews as a race. And she said, yes, that's the killer, isn't it? The oppressor is telling you what you are. Why are you believing them? They're Nazis. Why are you believing what they're saying? Goldberg replied. This is a weird kind of, I don't know if she's doing hindsight as 2200 because she's really blind at this one. And then to justify her claim, she said, you could not tell a Jew on the street, you could find me, you couldn't find them. Look, Whoopi, there's all sorts of, I suppose, racist people that oh my God, she's so stupid. By the way, good morning, Asia Research Director and Crackshot. What's happening? So then she said, my best friend said, not for nothing is there no box on the sentence for the Jewish race. So that leads me to believe that they're probably not a race. Okay. And then in January, she similarly claimed the Holocaust isn't about race. It's about a man's inhumanity to man. That's what it's about. She told her co-host at the time. She further insisted these are two white groups of people, referring to the Nazis and the Jewish people. Her statement received immediate backlash from viewers soon after ABC News President Kim Godwin announced that the host was being placed on a 2-week suspension, effective immediately. I'm suspending Whoopi Goldberg for the 2 weeks for her wrong and hurtful comments, Kim said. So she did get kind of canceled for a while, I guess. Oh yes, Crackshot Canada is currently offering euthanasia for disabled, mentally ill. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? In fact, I'll maybe find something about that. And this Kim Godwin said, while Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities. So she did get suspended. Now, she did, let's see, I think she has put an apology out. Where is it here? I think it's down here. Here's her apology. So New York Post, lots of places are covering this. But she's not going to get the backlash that Kanye got because she's on the right side of something. I don't know. So here's her apology that she tweeted out. She said, on today's show, I said the Holocaust is not about race, but about man's inhumanity to man. I should have said it's about both. So Jonathan Greenblatt from the ADL got to her. Jonathan Greenblatt from the Anti-Defamation League shared the Holocaust was about the Nazi systematic annihilation of the Jewish people, who they deemed to be an inferior race. So she says, I stand corrected. The Jewish people around the world have always had my support, and that will never waver. I'm sorry for the hurt I've caused. Written with my sincerest apologies, Whoopi Goldberg. So, one thing that I will say about this apology, it is an actual apology. Isn't that interesting? She actually wrote an actual apology. She didn't say, I'm sorry if you heard what I said and took it the wrong way, and blah, 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 blah. She actually apologized. So Still, it's just, it's interesting. Now, just a reminder, Kanye has not apologized for what he's saying, but I have some questions about Kanye's, what his purpose was with all that. I'm still confused about what he did, but it's not related anyway. So that's that. That's why Whoopi was trending today. Whoops, let me put this back in here. There we go. All right, now, just a reminder for you fellow Americans and non-Americans and Canadians and Europeans and whoever else watches, so the Australians and so on and so forth. You are the sponsor of the Morning Night Live. I'm going to ask you right now, while you're thinking about it, while I'm talking about it, I would like you to do me a favor. And you don't owe me a favor, but just out of the goodness of your heart, would you do me a favor? One, during the show, hit the like button. That would be fantastic. That's something that makes the show, helps the show. I don't know, the ratio of likes to people who've been here, it's been fantastic lately. And if you do that right now, I would greatly appreciate it. Now, on YouTube, it would be the like button. On Rumble, it would be the plussy. Pound that plussy. Go over to, in fact, even if you're watching on YouTube, open up the Rumble window and pound the plussy over there too. That would be the little plus sign underneath the screen there. Or you can do, if you're on mobile, there's that little thumbs up on the video. I don't think you can do it on the other like Roku or anything like that, but I don't know if anyone even watches on Roku. Does anyone here watch this on Roku? I doubt it. So I'm just going to say that I doubt it. But do that now. That would be great. Also, please share the stream. Now, this will not be the best stream ever, but it'll be a good stream because I tend to do good streams. Unless I know it's terrible, I tend to do decent streams. And if you like the stream, if you like it, somebody you know will like it, share the stream, okay? Share it during the show. Sometimes if I haven't started the show, but you see it up there, share it before the show and share it after the show. Because even if you didn't share it before the show or during the show, sometimes some people will come back and watch the replay. In fact, thank you to Somnambule Nation, Maddie. Let's see, anybody else? Nope. Just thank you, Somnambule Nation and Maddie, for sharing out the show. Mike Savage and Tyler F have kind of been doing something there, and I appreciate that. And then finally, if you want to sponsor the show, like really, really, really sponsor the show, up here, pdognight.live. That is the Streamlabs link. And now I messed up the page, but up in the upper right-hand corner, there's a place where you can do, you can donate to the show, or you can do YouTube Super Chats or Venmo Cash App. That stuff's in the descriptions. If you can, if you're able, that's great. If you can't, no big deal. The show is free. It helps out, especially right now that Lady Boomer's not working for probably 2 months. So anyway, if you want to sponsor the show, you can do that. All right, shall we continue? Let's go to, now, this is funny. So there's a new guy. One of the big things trending today on Twitter was what? He lied. In fact, I'm going to find that. Where is that? Because it's the trending is, it was he lied. And there was a whole bunch of people who lied about shit on the internet. And let me see if I can find it. He lied. Well, let me just pop it in here. He lied. And there we go. He lied. Oh, well, thank you, Maddie. We have a promo message. Awesome. Cool. Maybe let me do some promo music for this one. Thank you, Maddie, for dropping a 5 spot in the tip jar. Greatly appreciated for sponsoring the show. Maddie says, the Morning Night Live is made possible by supporters like you. Don't forget to hit the buttons on the platform you're using to get future notifications. There is also a Streamlabs link too. We love you. Thank you so much, Maddie. Greatly appreciate it. And Maddie, you are the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you very much. That is awesome. All right, cut the music. All right, thank you so much, Maddie. Appreciate it. What did I do there? Oh, there. Yeah, there you are. All right, and good morning to Hig. I see you there. I see you, brother. Welcome. All right. So he lied was trending, and that was interesting because there was a lot of people who did some lying. But the first one I want to talk about is this new representative, from the person in the House of Representatives elected to the House from the state of New York, George Santos. Now, George Santos, I have a feeling that in maybe, let me think how long this would take. Let's say roughly 20 years or so. In 20 years ago, so I think George Santos will be elected president of the United States, because that's about the time it takes to go from being a total lying dumbass to become president, because that's what we have now. So anyway, Black Hebrew Israelites in the house. What's up?
That's right.
Good morning, sir. All right. Yes, I did. And yes, I did have a Merry Christmas. Thank you very much. And good morning, Cindy, in the background. So, George Santos, liar, Representative-elect George Santos, admits to fabricating key details of his bio. Wow, this sounds so familiar. Long Island Representative-elect George Santos came clean to the Post on Monday, admitting that he lied on the campaign trail about his education and work experience. Look, if you are familiar with the current president of the United States, that's just some good politicking. But insisting that the controversy won't deter him from serving out his 2-year term in Congress. Quote, I am not a criminal, Santos said at one point during his exclusive interview. This controversy will not deter me from having a good legislative success. I will be effective. I will be good. I'll be a good boy. Did he say he was black? No, I don't think so. Anyway, Santos' professional biography. Oh, no, I don't think he said he was black. Okay, here it is. Santos' professional biography was called into question earlier this month after the New York Times reported that he misrepresented the number of claims, including where he attended college, or a number of claims, including where he attended college and his alleged employment history with the high-profile Wall Street firms. Quote, my sins here are embellishing my resume. I'm sorry, Santos said Monday. Santos confessed he had never worked directly for Goldman Sachs and Citigroup, chalking that fib up to a poor choice of words. The 34-year-old now claims instead that a company called Linkbridge, where he worked as vice president, did business with both of the financial giants. I will be clear about that. It was stated poorly, Santos said of the lie. So the New York Post isn't giving him any slack. That's pretty funny. They'll still call it a lie. So like the boys in the house.
Yeah, boy.
And then he said, let's see, he also admitted that he never graduated from any college, despite previously claiming to have received a degree from Baruch in 2010. Now, see, I told you, that sounds so familiar. Remember when it was the 88 when Joe Biden was running for president and he said that he had, what did he say? He said he graduated at the top of his class. He had 3 degrees, and he was the only person on scholarship at law school. And then they found out that he graduated from law school like in the bottom 1%. He graduated, but he graduated like let's say there were 25 people in his class in law school. He graduated ranked 23rd. That's like, I don't, those are the exact numbers, but that's about how bad it was. So anyway, let's see, what else did he say? Oh, he said he was Jewish too. Remember? I don't know if any of your followers, he said he was Jewish, but then, well, here it is. Santos elected to Congress. Oh, wait, where was I? Oh, here we go. I didn't graduate from any institution of higher learning. I'm embarrassed and sorry to have embellished my resume, he said. I own up to that. We do stupid things in life. Santos, elected to Congress on November 8th to represent the Long Island and Queens-based 3rd District, was also accused of lying about his family history, saying on his campaign website that his mother was Jewish and his grandparents escaped the Nazis during World War II. Well, see, maybe Whoopi Goldberg was right, because he was just a white guy escaping Nazi Germany, not a race that had some melanin. Anyway, Santos now says he is clearly Catholic, but claimed his grandmother's told stories about being Jewish and later converting to Catholicism. I never claimed to be Jewish, Santos said. I am Catholic because I learned my maternal family had a Jewish background. I said I was Jew-ish, like sort of Jewish. Santos, the first openly gay, non-incumbent Republican elected to the House. Wait, maybe he's not really. Oh no, also faced accusations that he lied about his sexual orientation. With the Daily Beast reporting last week, he was previously married to a woman until shortly before he launched his unsuccessful 2020 campaign against Democrat Tom Suozzi. The soon-to-be lawmaker confirmed to the Post Monday that he was indeed married to a woman for about 5 years from 2012 until his divorce in 2017, but insisted that he is now a happily married gay man. Oh, boy. Then he said, I dated women in the past. I married a woman. That's personal stuff, he said, adding that the relationship got a little toxic. Well, if you are gay, then yes, that relationship probably did get a little toxic. Good morning, Renee Mayette. How are you doing? Now, Santos also acknowledged, good God, this goes on and on. Santos also acknowledged being a deadbeat tenant in Sunnyside, Queens, where the Times reported he was ordered by a judge to pay more than $12,000 to a former landlord who claimed non-payment of several months' rent. As well as that, Santos has tried to get to pass a check that bounced. On Monday, Santos claimed at the time of the lawsuit his family was deep in medical debt from his mother's cancer battle. We were engulfed in debt, he said. We had issues paying rent at the time. It's the vulnerability of being a human. I am not embarrassed by it. Santos said his mother died of cancer on December 23, 2016, after living with him at the Queens apartment, and acknowledged the judgment against him. And then his mother said that she never had cancer. No, I'm sorry, I added that. I mean, might as well though. Holy shit. Asked if he'd ever actually paid the arrears, Santos admitted, we didn't pay it off. I completely forgot about it. Good God. Santos, oh, there's more. Oh my gosh, this goes on and on and on. We're reading it all because we are reading this all. Good grief, Charlie Brown. Yes, good grief. He said he had owned 13 properties, but is sleeping in his sister's couch. Oh, good Lord. I didn't know that part. That's the next one. Santos also admitted to lying when he claimed he owned 13 different properties, saying he now resides at his sister's place in Huntington, but is looking to purchase his own place. Okay, how did this guy even run for Congress, let alone win? My God, how did the Democrats do any opposition research on this guy? George Santos does not own empty properties, he said. Santos was defiant on one point. Okay, he was defiant on one point, denying an allegation raised by the Times that he had an unspecified criminal charge filed against him in Brazil. I am not a criminal here, not here or in Brazil or any jurisdiction in the world, Santos said. Absolutely not. That didn't happen. Now, the incoming congressman dismissed concerns that his lies will impact his effectiveness in representing New Yorkers in the lower chamber in the new year. Well, of course it won't affect his effectiveness. Look who they have in congressional delegation from New York. It's like, holy shit. And Grandpa was a Tuskegee vet. Did he fly a red tail? I don't know. That's funny, Jethro. He said, I intend to deliver on the promises I made during the campaign, fighting crime, fighting to lower inflation, improving education, he added, saying that the people elected me to fight for them. Well, did they elect you or did they elect the other guy that you kept talking about? That's what I'm wondering. Holy shit. He said, I came to D.C. to bring results to those issues, and that's what I'm going to do. Meanwhile, I mean, he lives in his sister's, he sleeps on his sister's couch. Meanwhile, Santos said the $11 million in assets reported in his financial disclosure report filed in September are tied to his DeVolder consulting firm. All of my finances come from the firm. The assets are the contracts with the firm, he told the Post. His campaign committee, DeVolder Santos for Congress, also reported that he personally loaned his campaign more than $600,000. Well, interesting. Now, senior House Republicans were apparently aware of the inaccuracies and embellishments in the member-elect's resume. Wait a minute. Are aware or were aware? And the topic became a running joke. Multiple insiders close to House GOP leadership told the Post over the weekend. As far as questions about George in general, that was always something that was brought up whenever we talked about this race, said one senior GOP leadership aide. It was a running joke at a certain point. This is the second time he's run, and these issues we assumed would be worked out by the voters. So they didn't think he would win, and he won. Oh, my God. I wonder if the House, or what is it, the Republican Congressional Campaign Committee, I wonder if they gave him any money, if they knew this was a running joke that he's like Joe Biden on steroids. Holy shit. Last week, the top Republican in Nassau County demanded that Santos explain himself after his web of lies began to unravel. While I've indicated that Congressman-elect deserves a reasonable time to respond to the media, voters deserve a sincere accounting for Mr. Santos, said Nassau County Republican Committee Chairman Joseph Cairo. I will be listening attentively, and I want to hear meaningful remarks from George Santos. The same day, Santos broke his 3-day silence. The reports of his prevarications emerged, tweeting, quote, "To the people of New York, third, I have my story to tell, and it will be told next week. I want to assure everyone that I will address your questions, and I remain committed to deliver results I campaigned on: public safety, inflation, education, and more." Then he added, "Happy holidays to all." Well, happy holidays. Happy holidays. Holy shit. If they named an award after Joseph Rahim Biden, I think George Santos should get it. Wait, who's the guy? Who's the that's the ticket guy? Was on Saturday Night Live. I mean, that's basically who this guy is. I mean, the liar guy. Oh, what's his name? The comedian. Someone will bring it up in the chat. He must have a D next to his name. The only way he could have gotten away with this. No, he's a Republican. That's just it. That's in fact, there's people in Republican leadership that are being pressured to get rid of him. Here it is. This is, in fact, I'm showing you something that he lied. Here he is. Again, he didn't embellish. He lied. He must have known he could get away with it. He did. No consequences. He will be making $174,000 a year for lying. This is the face of the Republican Party. You have a lot of nerve. You have a whole lot of nerve saying that. Okay. Your president of the John Lovitz. Thank you, D.I. Fredo Watcher. It's definitely John Lovitz. You all have, oh boy. You have Joseph Rahim Biden as the president of the United States. You want to talk about a guy who pads his resume with a lot of bullshit constantly. Oh boy. Anyway. There were some other things under the he lied. He lied about where he lives, where he worked, where he went to school, where he got his money, where his charity, his business, being Jewish, his criminal history in Brazil, his Russian oligarch donations. No one said anything. What Russian oligarch donations? That's a lie. No, the criminal history of Brazil, we haven't proven that. His divorce, who knows? Let's see. One of the questions someone here asks, is his name really George Santos? Has he been a U.S. citizen for at least 7 years? If not, he can't legally serve. We don't know. I guess we're going to find out. Lots of people are, obviously, because he's a Republican. Look, because he's a Republican, this story will not die. Notice how when Joe Biden was running for president and made all those crazy claims that were proven lies, and he had to drop out of the race for president. Did he have to drop out? Did he drop out of Congress? Did he have to drop out of public service life? No, he's now the president of the United States, and he still tells lies. Or just, maybe it's, now you could say some of the shit that Joe Biden says is just, well, they're not embellishment. Is it because he's brain dead? He doesn't know what he's saying? I find it quite interesting, though. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Just some random stuff. Oh, speaking of lying, apparently Kamala Harris is talking about Kwanzaa again. Here's Kamala Harris talking about her warm family tradition of celebrating Kwanzaa, and this is she and her lovely husband. Here we go. Here's Kamala Harris, and let's see. We're gonna listen to this, and I want you to think about I want you to think about whether or not this is logical to you. So here we go. Let's listen to Kamala Harris.
Hello, everyone, and happy Kwanzaa. Doug and I send our warmest wishes to all of you this holiday season.
During Kwanzaa, we celebrate the history and heritage of the African American community
Okay, they're reading the
and the
teleprompter.
African diaspora.
Why? Whoa. The African diaspora? What are you talking about, the African diaspora, Doug? Kwanzaa has nothing to do, well, I suppose if you want to say the peoples who were from Africa, it has nothing to do with Africa. It's strictly an American, African descent holiday, not an entire diaspora. But anyway,
Kwanzaa was always a special time.
Growing up, Kwanzaa was always a special time. Now, let's just remind you a little bit about Kamala Harris's background, because first of all, one, she's not African. Her family's not African American. Not at all. Her father is a African descent, but he is of African Jamaican descent, and her mother is from India. And this is a holiday that was invented in 1966, which really didn't get celebrated around the rest of the country very much until the 80s. Now, plus, in Kamala Harris's early years, she was raised in Canada. Now, she was born in America. She's an American citizen and all that stuff. She's absolutely an American citizen, right? But she was raised mostly in Canada in her early years. So I'm trying to figure out when, growing up, Kwanzaa was always a special holiday in her family. And also, I think her father was half Indian and half black. I think one of his parents was Indian, one of his parents was black. So she's mostly Indian, even though she's got they keep giving her that black card because, melanin and shit. Anyway.
Growing up, Kwanzaa was always a special time. We came together with generations of friends and family and neighbors.
Did you really? In the suburbs of Toronto? Why? It's not it's not a Canadian holiday. It's strictly an African American holiday that was made up by a communist dude in 1966. Now, not everything about Kwanzaa is bad, but for example, my family, African American, descendants of slaves, the whole 9 yards, right? The family I grew up in, at least. They didn't celebrate Kwanzaa when I was a kid. We didn't celebrate it in the 80s when it started gaining some momentum. We didn't do it. Nobody celebrated Kwanzaa. No one knew what it was unless you lived in San Francisco where they founded it. Nobody knew what it was. It just started to get some traction in the 80s. So what are you talking about? Kamala's at least as old as I am, isn't she? She didn't celebrate no damn Kwanzaa. Come on, man.
There were never enough chairs.
Come on, man.
So my sister and I and the other children would often sit on the floor. And together we lit the candles of the Kinara.
Yeah, you just learned what the
And then
Kinara was
elders
last
would
year.
talk about how Kwanzaa is a time to celebrate culture, community, and family.
Which culture? The Afro-Jamaican culture or your Indian culture? What are you talking about? I want to ask her sister. Does she have two sisters? I want to ask her mother. I want to ask her father. Did they celebrate Kwanzaa in their house? I want to know. I want to know if you celebrated Kwanzaa. I really doubt it, but this is a lie. What up, Papa Hotep? Oh, I was trying to do one of these. Papa Hotep's in the house. Nice to see you. No, a Kanara, not a menorah. It's called a Kanara in Kwanzaa language. By the way, I'm celebrating Schwanza. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi, for reminding me. Let's see, where the Kanara. There it is. It's called a Kanara. It's funny because the first time I saw one, I was like, wait a minute, when do we? Because my mom actually put one out, probably in the late 2010s. She was putting one of those out just because it was an African American thing, and she's into African American things. And I'm like, why do we have a menorah up on our fireplace? No, that's the Kanara, because it didn't have enough candles. Because menorah has 9 candles, Kwanzaa has 7. But anyway, but when did Kamala Harris grow up celebrating this holiday? In fact, here's the other part of this. Her grandmother, if she's saying that her grandmother, because she had, or whatever, grandparents, whatever, why would they celebrate Kwanzaa? They're from, her black grandparents are from Jamaica. This is painful.
It's a time to celebrate culture, community, and family.
No.
And they, of course, taught us about the 7 principles.
Did they really?
My favorite principle was always the second, Kujichagulia.
Someone taught her how to say it. Someone taught her how to say it. She practiced that because she didn't learn that when she was a child, because there was no reason for her family to celebrate Kwanzaa. I'm just saying.
Determination. The power to design your own life and determine your own future. And it is a deeply American principle.
Yeah, because it was invented in America. It's a holiday of anyway.
And that guides me every day as vice president.
Oh, it does not. Shut up.
To everyone celebrating.
You didn't think about this until you decided to make a video about it. You don't think about Kwanzaa until it's time to pretend you got, the melanated part of your family, the black part of your family from Jamaica, who didn't celebrate Kwanzaa in Jamaica. I can't even get a sense out. This is hilarious.
We hope your week is filled with love and light.
Doug,
from our family to yours. Happy Kwanzaa.
And where's the Kanara? Oh my God. Anyway, that's the Vice President of the United States. Since the theme is lying today. But our friend Olivia Rondo, who I met at Hotep Nation, she said, she keeps expecting us to believe she grew up celebrating Kwanzaa, an African-American holiday invented in 1966, while she's from an Indian-Jamaican family born 2 years prior to the holiday's existence, and it was obscure. Nobody knew about this holiday anywhere but in San Francisco until the 80s. I remember the first time I ever heard of Kwanzaa, I was like a senior in high school. When we first even heard of it, because it wasn't celebrated. It really was in obscurity until about 1980. And then people kind of started talking about it. Oh, they celebrate this holiday called Kwanzaa, and here and there. But it from about 66 until about the late 70s, it was pretty much only celebrated in California by African Americans in California. So this is crazy. Peter and I, if Kamala looked like Stacey Adams, she wouldn't get away with half the crap she tries to pull off. Well, yeah, she's an attractive lady. You're probably right. But what a lie. Just an embarrassing, bald-faced lie about celebrating this growing up. Anyway, so like I said, today it's kind of a show of you know what? I never talked about the Twitter files yesterday. So let's pull this little summary up first. And then we can talk about random stuff y'all want to talk about. So the Twitter files starting about COVID. The first ones came out yesterday morning. And a lot of people were talking about this yesterday, and this is probably one of the better summaries of it. Twitter files, part 10, banning those who dared to question the stupid 19 narrative. This was a big one yesterday, and there's a lot of it I probably shouldn't even talk about on YouTube because they're still pretty touchy about talking about COVID. But anyway, So thus far, the Twitter file dumps have been mostly about the FBI using Twitter to silence conservatives and run cover for Hunter Biden's laptop, perhaps effectively altering the 2020 election. Maybe. No. See, I can't. But even though it was the most secure and safe election in the history of America, just got to add that. Anyway, and about how the CIA, Department of Defense, and practically every other government agency jumped on the Twitter censorship bandwagon for their own nefarious purposes. Now, wait, 84 Rama, what's this say? Under Joe Biden, the U.S. government has infiltrated major tech companies like Twitter, Facebook, Verizon, etc. to spy on its own citizens. As you're about to see, they also want to control what we read and therefore what we believe to be true. Exactly. Now, on Monday, Twitter file dump. It's about the government silencing anyone who dared question the science. About me with science. Surrounding anything that had to do with the Hong Kong flu. My favorite is still what's the one? What is the one? The Kung Pao flu, the Chinese lung AIDS. Anyway, there's a number of euphemisms for stupid 19. Real quick though, thank you, Black Hebrew Israelite, for sponsoring the show, dropping a small bullet in the tip jar, and we'll do a little music for this one. All right, Black Hebrew Israelite says, so the young congressman. Oh, what the hell happened there? Oh, I see what happened. Okay, that music kind of got blurry there. All right, so the young congressman is a fake Jewish fake college graduate, heterosexual and gay Republican, and is wanted for a one-way helicopter ride in Brazil. Sounds like a perfect candidate for vice president. Unlike, oh my God. Hang on, I just turned the music off of this. Stop. Okay, Black Hebrew Israelite. How far am I into the show? I am, how far am I into the show here? 20, am I 20, I'm over a half hour into the show. Okay, I can say this. Like a perfect candidate for vice president, unlike, in parentheses, come all over my hair and ass, and parentheses, AKA Kamala Harris. Okay, I'm just gonna thank you for sponsoring the show. I appreciate it. Also, Thomas Cleaver with a big bullet in the tip jar, who just says, "Kapow!" Thank you, Thomas Cleaver. Appreciate it. Thank you very much. All right, let's get back into this. The little Twitter summary from yesterday. So Monday's Twitter file dumps is about government silencing anyone who dared question the science surrounding anything to do with the stupid 19. What's this? The rabbit hole. It's hard to understate the levels of dishonesty we witnessed during COVID. No amount of political doublespeak can make this poof go away. The game has changed once the internet has receipts. The evidence is forever. So David Zweig, or however you say his name, dropped Twitter files about this COVID thing. Now, I'll have a link to that. In fact, here, what I'll do is I'll go ahead and put a link to it again. I had it in yesterday's file links yesterday. But here, wait until you see what and who decided what was and wasn't acceptable medical opinion in regard to the bat stew flu. Who is this writing this? This is funny. Kevin Downey Jr. Yes, he has some great euphemisms. Okay, so as I've noted before, following the multi-part Twitter files dump can be confusing, so I will lay out the essentials in an easy-to-follow bulleted format. I wish he'd number them, though, so I know what number I'm at. Anyway, here's some of the highlights from yesterday's COVID-19 Twitter files drop. 1. Both the Trump and Biden administrations pressured Twitter regarding stupid 19, quote, misinformation. But for different reasons. Trump wanted to prevent the public from panic buying and engaging in conspiracy theories involving 5G cell towers. The Biden administration wanted to silence people who questioned mass efficacy, vaccines, or anything put forth by the CDC. So, Trump wanted people not to panic, and Biden just wanted to have the only narrative about everything. Okay? Now, after Biden took over the White House, his administration took aim at anti-vaxxers, including journalist Alex Berenson. In mid-2021, Biden declared that media companies were, quote, killing people, end quote, by allowing misinformation on their platforms. Berenson was suspended immediately thereafter. Berenson sued Twitter and in the process learned the White House was the one who silenced him. Interesting. Also, Twitter didn't always cave to pressure from the Biden administration. A Twitter exec wrote earlier this month of the White House being, quote, very angry, end quote, that the platform wouldn't do more to suspend the accounts of people questioning the COVID science, quote unquote science. However, Twitter did silence many medical professionals who dared to share viewpoints that opposed the opinions of the U.S. government. Yes, see, these professional doctors who do this thing called practice, they would not allow them to practice if they did not toe the line of the administration and the, Lord Fauci. Now, much of the censorship came from bots, or in some cases, moderators in the Philippines who were not medical specialists. They followed, quote, decision trees, end quote, to see who would get suspended. So these were these call centers they have, and sometimes they're in the Philippines, sometimes they're in India, sometimes they're in Croatia, but the people who did the decision making on who was telling the correct medical information in this case were moderators in the Philippines. Now, the decision trees were created by high-ranking Twitter executives, most of whom had a serious left-leaning bias. Oh, shocker. I'm just shocked. I can't believe it. This bias, as well as the bots and Filipino content moderators who had no medical training, led to scores of doctors and medical specialists being censored or even banned from Twitter or for posing questions and or actual facts that didn't jibe with the White House's COVID narrative. Perfect. We want to make sure that people with no medical training are censoring doctors who might have some insight as to how some of this shit works. Now, targeted Twitter users would have their content censored. An offending tweet might be labeled misinformation or could no longer be liked or shared. So that's kind of a shadow banning or what do they, they put those stupid special notes underneath your tweets. Dr. Martin Kulldorff from Harvard Medical School. Let me repeat that. Harvard Medical School tweeted that only the elderly and their caretakers needed to be vaccinated. The tweet was deemed as misinformation and could no longer be shared or liked, thus limiting its view. Never mind that Kulldorff's opinion matched many other countries. Some tweets were flagged even though they contained actual CDC information because the bots and moderators were somehow unable to recognize that. So, for example, some of these people would be actually quoting the CDC or actually putting screenshots of CDC info, but the bots or the people doing moderating still shadow banned them or got rid of them because they didn't realize it was the information coming from the CDC. Now, another factorama here, former FBI employee, Twitter exec Jim Baker tried to have Trump banned from Twitter when the then president called for calm in the face of COVID. Yeah, that was a good one too. I hope to get that, but I may not get to that. Anyway, so now what have we learned? We have learned that Twitter wasn't only used by the FBI and CIA to spy on and silence Americans. It was also used to censor people, many of whom were doctors and medical specialists who dared to question or disagree with the White House version of science. The Biden administration got very angry when Twitter execs refused to suspend everyone the White House deemed to be a problem. But Twitter did squelch many medical specialists who questioned the official COVID narrative. The bots and moderators were sometimes unable to distinguish actual CDC information from the medical opinions of dissenters, but the scorched earth policy of silencing people could and did censor them as well. Our government is using Twitter and almost every other tech company to spy on us and to silence us when we question their version of science. Stalin would be very proud. Now, Elon Musk tweeted that there will be more Twitter COVID chicanery exposed next week. He also had this to say. Let's see. Let's see what he says here.
I mean, to be totally frank, almost every conspiracy theory that people had about Twitter turned out to be true. So, is there a conspiracy theory about Twitter that didn't turn out to be true? So far, they've all turned out to be true. And if not, more true than people thought.
So there you go. Anyway, so, and it's just not Twitter, okay? You know, the big thing about this is that some of these people at Twitter were going to meetings with certain government officials, and there were executives from Facebook, Reddit, Pinterest, Google, Apple, Verizon. I mean, even your phone companies were going to these meetings. So now it makes me wonder, okay, why are phone companies going to these meetings? Are phone companies monitoring your text messages maybe, or your verbal communication? Well, we know the NSA does that. Oh, it's not good. Twitter makes you dig 3 inches longer than conspiracy theory turned out to be fake. I've never heard that one, but AD, I'm not sure you came up with that one. Okay. All right. So anyway, that's the summary of yesterday's Twitter files. It was 40 tweets, something long. If you want to read it out yourself, I did putting this link in the links today. Speaking of which, if you haven't been here before, or I don't know who hasn't been here before. As you know, every day, whenever I do these articles and tweets and videos and whatever, I will put them all in a single link in the second paragraph of the description on both Rumble and YouTube, called a one-tab link. You click the link and it'll have a single page where every single article, tweet, video, or whatever I reference will be on that single page if you want to go back and reference them later. So, all right, what else do I have here? So, there was this big deal about the election in Arizona, and Kari Lake filed a lawsuit, and apparently the judge has dismissed the lawsuit on the shenanigans going on in Maricopa County, saying that even though that there were problems in Maricopa County, the problems would have had to have been intentional for them to actually do anything regarding correcting the problem. So there's apparently if there's an unintentional problem, then they will move forward and stick with the results. Well, and so what's interesting though is Katie Hobbs, who won the governorship, saw that as weaponizing the courts against her. Well, now it looks like there's going to be some retaliation. Incoming Arizona Governor Katie Hobbs is filing sanctions against Kari Lake after the election lawsuit. Wow. Democratic Arizona Governor-elect Katie Hobbs joins Maricopa County in filing sanctions against her former Republican opponent, Kari Lake, in court on Monday. The request for sanctions came after Maricopa County Superior Court Judge Peter Thompson on Saturday ruled against Lake's lawsuit challenging the November gubernatorial election with allegations of fraud and intentional misconduct. The 10-page ruling said the former Republican candidate's witness lacked knowledge of intentional misconduct. Okay, key word in there, intentional misconduct. because there definitely was misconduct. Anyway, Lake went to court earlier in December with 2 of her 10 claims alleging misconduct with ballot printers and chain of custody. Hobbs' attorney joined Maricopa County defendants who are seeking $25,050, which includes $18,730 in attorney's fees from Lake over her alleged groundless, quote unquote, groundless claims that they were, quote, not made in good faith, end quote, according to Monday's suit. The document said sanctions are, quote, more than warranted, citing Lake's previous statement that she would accept the results of the gubernatorial election only if she were the winning candidate. I don't think she said that. Does anyone remember her saying that she would only accept the results if she were the winning candidate? I don't think she ever said those words. That's kind of a made-up quote there. Anyway, enough is really enough. Arizona Governor-elect Katie Hobbs asked Judge Sanction defeated rival Carrie Lake and her lawyers. Anyway, now here's a quote. There is no question that plaintiff's claims were both groundless and not made in good faith, the document read. As noted above, plaintiff had decided well before the election that if the results did not favor her, she would deny that they were legitimate. And she misused this court to do so. That's interesting because clearly there were problems in Maricopa County. Now, I'm not saying that they would have changed anything, but the idea that you cannot question the problems they had in Maricopa County, are you serious? There were some serious problems there. Now, would they affect the election? Who knows? But now, imagine, the bigger question would be, if there were not the problems with the ballot machines in Maricopa County, would it have changed the election? Who knows? I'm not even going to make that claim. Never will. It could have, it could not have, but it happened. Yes, Ryan, by the way, good morning, Ryan himself. She didn't say that. That's a lie. That is correct. You are correct, sir. Anyway, the county and Hobbs' attorneys said the courts, quote, should not be used to harass political opponents and sow completely unfounded doubts about the integrity of the elections, end quote. If there are major problems, then that's what the courts are for, to decide, right? What are you talking about? The document further alleged that Lake's lawsuit stemmed from a lack of legal and factual merit in order to spread disinformation about the... Well, they're getting all the buzzwords in there, aren't they? Disinformation, unfounded, blah, 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 blah. Brian Blem, attorney for Lake, argued her witness laid out detailed facts to prove the alleged intentional misconduct carried out in the gubernatorial election. According to a legal document obtained by the Daily Caller, Lake's attorneys argued neither Maricopa County nor Hobbs have made a substantial argument to justify sanctions. And then he goes on to say, as demonstrated above, plaintiff Lake's claims were substantiated, brought in good faith, and further are a matter of public concerns, according to the document. None of the defendants, which is Maricopa County, argument has any merit, nor do defendants point to a single case analogous to this case that would justify sanctions and attorney's fees. Blem further pushed back against Maricopa County's claim that Lake's witnesses cited no evidence to suggest intentional misconduct, arguing the court did show evidence of intent and outcome determinative misconduct and legitimate concerns about the state of Arizona's election process. So anyway, they're going to go back and forth on this. Let's see. A judge in Maricopa rejected a Republican-led request to keep polls open past 7 p.m., ruling that there was no sufficient... Okay, that's back when there was. So anyway, there were problems in Maricopa County. Now, like I said, I will not say that they would have changed anything, but the fact that, 20% of their machines had these problems, and then they figure out later it's because the way the ballots were printed incorrectly. How does that happen? How does that happen? How does that happen in an election that they're supposed to be making sure everything is all hunky-dory the day before, and then the day of elections in the county that is heavily Republican, all of a sudden we have these problems. Oh, and it's the Republican county run by Republican people who, not that long ago, signed a thing that said they don't want any of these MAGA people around here. And Carrie Lake's definitely a MAGA person. Oh, just a coincidence. I don't know. Anyway, I bet if ID and paper ballots were the norm all over the county, Dems would only win California or all over the country. Dems would only use California and New York City. Yeah, they'd win Minnesota. I live here. I know how it works. They'd find a way. They'd win Illinois too. But still, they would. I think if it were ID and paper ballots, it'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see the difference. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Democrats are able to steal elections and Republicans don't do anything. I probably shouldn't even have said that quietly out loud. Anyway, the Good Morning Fight for our right. All right. It's interesting. I'm already out of time. I forgot I started so late. So, I have one other article that I'm not going to go through today, but it's an interesting article about whether or not we should boycott the 2024 election, maybe until the FBI stops directing our political processes. And this is more about Sam Bankman-Fried, wondering how he got out on $100,000. Or he said he only had $100,000 to his name, but somehow met the $250 million bond to be out of jail, which means somebody put up that 10%, or no, 6% in California, I think it is, or not California, 6% in the jurisdiction that they have these charges. But it's fascinating that how people like him, people like Hunter Biden, people who have D's behind their name can seemingly just get away with just about anything. And we're talking billions of dollars missing, and this guy's out on bail. But you have a grandma who wandered into the Capitol building, who wasn't part of any of the violence, but wandered in and got a trespassing card, spent a year in jail waiting for a trial, and then gets has to do a plea bargain to get major fines and whatever. Or even some of the people who on January 6th who, not all those people were violent. The people who were violent, fine, put them in jail. But that was a very small percentage of the people who were there. And even a small percentage of the people who were charged with anything. Most of them were in trespassing, parading charges. And some of them are still in jail awaiting trial. But Sam Bankman-Fried, he donates most of his money to Democrats and a couple key Republicans. The leadership of the Republicans who are part of the Uniparty. And he's out on bail. He just stays in his parents' house. In fact, here, in the same week Bankman-Fried walked out of jail, the FBI issued a chilling response to the bombshell revelations about its sprawling censorship regime. We now know the FBI meddled in elections by paying millions to Twitter and likely other social media companies to censor disfavored political speech that threatened to derail favored candidates. Wow. It's a long article about many of these things, but like I said, I don't have time to read it today, so who knows what I'll do with that. Anyway, thanks everybody for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. We're here Monday through Friday, 10 o'clock Eastern, of course, roughly 10 o'clock Eastern, depending on what time I get home from my other gig. And, but Monday through Friday, around this time, please hit the like button if you haven't done so already. I see 34 people in the room right now, 21 likes. So there's room for that. Also, hit the plusy on Rumble side. Thank you for the 14 watching over there too. And share the stream. Share it afterwards. Share it before the next one. When I put that up, I'm going to start putting those up a little earlier. And if you want to sponsor the show 24 hours a day, pdognight.live. See right there, pdognight.live right there. And also YouTube, Super Chats, Cash App, and Venmo in the description down below. Ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. I got to go. My name is P Dog Night, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Hey, this is P Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.